Shooting.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. Say, man, Jim Crow Joe done did it again. He done did it again, man. And you black folk gonna wake up sooner or later. Trump a damn fool. But Joe a closet racist. Let's go. Say, I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the War Zone. Man, how y'all doing today? How you doing? Remember, we can't do none of this without you guys. So we really appreciate you tuning in to the War Zone. And today we switched the whole format. My girl hit me in the inbox today, say we got to talk about Jim Crow Joe Biden. We got to talk about him. I'm like, let's go. Let's get it in. So I'm going to turn this over to Demetri K, because y'all know we don't waste no time with what we do. Demetri, what's going on, mama?
So hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. So you guys know we were going to talk about something a little bit on, I won't say it's trivial, but just something that was kind of trending. Well, for me, it was trending anyway. But we decided to switch over because, when things come hot off the press, we got to address it. And so for those of you guys don't know, Joe Biden is now vetting Amy Klobuchar. Okay, so let's take it back. Joe Biden, as you guys all know, is running for the presidency of the United States. He's the vice president of the Obama administration and all of that. And so a couple of months ago, he vowed that he would pick a woman as a running mate. So I think I got an echo going on somebody's phones. So he had vowed to choose a woman for his running mate. A lot of people were kicking around Kamala Harris's name, Stacey Abrams, and Elizabeth Warren, a couple other people. So today we learned that Amy Klobuchar is being vetted. So why is Amy Klobuchar problematic? Well, Amy Klobuchar virtually has the same stance on crime in regards to Black people as Joe Biden has. And I'll bring up a specific case. You guys hear my echo at all?
I don't.
I hear. Maybe it's just me. So anyway, so Amy Klobuchar. In 2002, she was a prosecutor from Minnesota. In 2002, Taisha Edwards, a 11-year-old girl, was shot and murdered at a kitchen table as she was doing homework. Well, there is an echo. I don't know what it is.
Do you have your phone volume turned down?
Let's see.
Check your phone volume.
What about now? Still there?
I don't hear anything.
You guys hear the echo?
I hear you, but I don't hear echo.
Okay, well,
I hear the echo, but it's a little bit better now. So,
okay. So anyway, hopefully it'll go away.
There you go.
I think it's gone now. Okay, so anyway, so Taisha Edwards was murdered at a kitchen table. So a drive-by was taking place, and she was, I guess, the unintended victim of the drive-by. And so Byron Morrell, I think I said his name right. Myron Burrell, I'm sorry. Too many B's and M's. So anyway, he was accused of the murder. Now he was 16 years old at the time. Now when all of the evidence or the non-evidence came back, it was clear that he did not commit the murder. But Amy Klobuchar was the first prosecutor to bring the charges against Myron. And it was clear they didn't do it. There was no evidence, no DNA, no weapon. Plus, the original shooter came forward and said he was the one that did it. A lot of the people who were involved in investigating the case, not only took them 4 days to investigate the case, a lot of the people that were involved in investigating the case were trying to pay people to say they saw him. They went and got jailhouse testimonies. It coerced a lot of people in jail, a few people in jail to say they knew about what happened with the case. So all this stuff was proven that this was a shoddy case, right? But Amy Klobuchar, when she was running for senator a few years later, she ran on that very case that she was instrumental in bringing the murderer to justice. Now, this murderer, again, was the accused 16-year-old, right? 17 years later, this man, he was a boy then, is now still in prison for something that he did not commit. So here we have Jim Crow Joe, who is also the father of a lot of modern day crime bills, the one of 84, 86, 94, and another one with Strom Thurmond in regards to just over sentencing and being harsher on Black people, right? And so now he's picking Amy Klobuchar as his running mate. And she was also one of those prosecutors / senators that were tough on crime. She ran on being tough on crime. And she even went on record saying, well, there's a lot of African Americans who were tired of the gun violence. And so that's why it was important for us to be tough on crime. This is her words. And one of the tactics that she also used when she was prosecuting Black people, she also, one of her major talking points was to be tough on juveniles. And so a lot of times when these juveniles will go to court and get ready to, for the trial and everything, they being her and her team would invoke these dog whistles, the white people, in regards to gang violence, gang affiliation allegations. And so these white people would think, oh my gosh, these kids are dangerous. And it would often lead to harsher sentences for these young kids. And so here we are in 2020. She's being seriously vetted for the vice presidency of the United States. Now, another thing that's problematic is because clearly something's wrong with Joe Biden. We don't know what it is, if it's dementia or something's off with him, right? So
his ass too old.
Well, he's old. He's 77 years old. But his people and other people saying one of the things that led to them, the vetting process, is the person that's chosen needs to be able to step in. God forbid something happens to them. So day one, they need to actually be ready to be the president of the United States, right? And so hold on. And so here we are in 2020. Joe Biden, who has been hard and harsh on Black people, is also choosing Amy Klobuchar, who is also and was hard on Black people. And to this day, as a senator, she has, as Sunny Hostin took her to task. If you guys send the interview on The View, she says, because Amy Klobuchar, when she was running for president, she goes, well, we're going to look into it. And Sunny Hostin says, well, you're the top brass. You got a lot of power as a senator of Minnesota. What do you mean you need to look into it? You need to actually go make this right, because your team is responsible for a kid at the age of 16 now doing 17 years on a natural life sentence for something he didn't do. And so we all need to have this discussion as to why Black people are going to continually vote for people who work against their better interests. I'm done.
All right. Now, you guys know national politics is my forte. And this is what I think about what's going on. Number one, he totally humiliated this lady. Totally. Why would you invite this lady on MSNBC? You would think, oh, well, I'm going to get the nomination. He's going to, nominate me. Put her in her place. Just said, look, this is what I'm going to do. You ain't it, right? So my hypothesis, and Dimitri knows I've been saying this for a long time. He's 77 years old. He said that he's only going to be a one-term president. So he is going to pick the next VP. But remember, when he ran, he said that he will nominate a woman as his vice president, and he will nominate a Black woman to the Supreme Court. That's a dog whistle for us political folks to say, at least this is what I got out of it. There ain't going to be no Black woman as the VP, especially if he's doing one term. So the person who's going to be the vice president is going to be basically the incumbent of continuing on if Joe actually gets the nomination. But I just want to say this, and I'm not like down in, Black women and, or any women in general. But when you say you are the backbone of the Democratic Party and they treat you like this, all the honey biscuit that this woman ate, and he's going to humiliate her on national TV, unbelievable. And then real quick, what's his name said that Ramirez, Mr. Ramirez here, he says that Pete Fernando Ramirez, He says Trump is the only option right now, like it or not. Wrong. You have another option. You can hold your vote. You don't have to vote for evil if both sides are evil. I'm done.
Okay. Y'all set the table for me. I don't like closet racist. I don't. And you black people have such a hatred for Trump that you would pick the devil himself over Trump. Let me explain this to you, man. Y'all want us to hold African American women in the highest regard. You don't want us to disrespect them. So you don't have a problem with an old racist white man disrespecting a black woman on national TV? I'm just calling it like I see it. If it was the other way around, I'd call it like I see it. So let me tell you something. You're going to reap what you sow. If this dude makes it in the office and y'all think y'all done won something, you going to learn the hard way. Because a snake is always going to be a snake. And Joe Biden is who he truly is. Now, what's amazing to me, the person that's highly vetted, Demetra K, can you do me a favor? Say that lady's name again, who's the one he's highly vetting her for VP.
Amy Klobuchar.
Who the hell is she? Let me tell you something, man. If that's the case, can he go get Grady off of Fred Sanford? Who is Amy Klobuchar?
Well, you know.
No, I'm not throwing it at you like that, but I'm just saying, as much as we talk politics, who the hell is this woman? And she got the same issues that Joe got. Y'all cool with folk disrespecting black people? You will vote for them people. So don't say anything to me when I disrespect you. Demetra?
Well, I mean, to your point, a lot of people have never heard of her. And I'm going to say this. I had a very heated discussion a couple hours before I came on here with somebody that's near and dear to me. I won't say their names. But I said, hey, well, you know, as we're talking, it looks like Joe Biden is vetting Amy Klobuchar. And she was like, okay, well, good. And I'm like, well, why is that good? And to your point, she didn't know a whole lot about her at all. And I'm like, you know what, I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful, but I don't think that if you don't have a full grasp of why you're going in there to vote, I don't think you should be able to vote. How is it that, and I'm not saying this to you, Gary, but a lot of people don't know that you might have heard her name because she was in the debates and things like that. But the real question is, who is she? And the real question we as Black people should be asking, is she a friend or is she a foe? Now go back and check her record and you will clearly see that Amy Klobuchar is a foe. She has the same stance and ideologies as Joe Biden does. Again, he is one of the modern fathers of the crime bills that disproportionately harmed Black people due to the crack and cocaine disparities. And, you know, we need to get these criminals off the street. The same thing along with Hillary Clinton that called our kids super predators and they need to be made to heal. They all share the same ideas when it comes to Black people. And unfortunately, Black people will go to the polls and overwhelmingly go vote for Joe Biden and whomever he has on the ticket. And so we need to be educated as to who we're voting for. And to Donovan's point about Stacey Abrams, yeah, Stacey Abrams did sop up a lot of juice with her butter biscuits that they gave her. You know, she's, you know, thought she was going to be the, because he, you know, people saying he needs to have a Black woman as a vice president. First of all, we know that ain't never going to happen, okay? She might get a job in the kitchen in the White House, but she's not going to get no job as a vice president. But to his other point, it has been said that Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, right? And if that's the case, Black women, why are we continuously voting against our better interests? Why are we doing that? Never mind the fact that Joe Biden was accused of rape, and most of those women who are now being vetted gave Brett Kavanaugh the business. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. You know, when he was running for Supreme Court, and a whole host of other dudes. Oh, they're this and they're that, and they're this and they're that. But now they want to. She's not telling the truth. Oh, it's just, you know, they're totally on board with Joe Biden. I'm not saying he did it, but look at their attitude. Look what some of these black women are willing to do for a seat at the damn table that they're going to end up serving in the long run.
Errol Jones says she's a white woman who is better than all the black females in the party. Donovan?
Ask him why.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to have to disagree with that. But before I really get in on that one, Stacey Abrams, what has she accomplished? She ran for governor and lost because she's a loser. So I'm looking at the comments and I'm seeing people say, I'm going to go look up Amy Klobuchar. I'm going to go look up this right here. Why don't you guys also go look up Stacey Abrams' record in the Georgia House of Representatives? She voted more with the Republicans than she did with the Democrats.
What?
How many of you guys knew that?
What?
How many of you guys knew that? Like I said, if we're going to vet both sides. And this is what Demetra and I and the 5-star general always say. Do your homework. You got to do, you just can't just be one-sided and totally blind about the other side. You might be voting against your own interests. But as a white woman who is better than all the black females in the party, let me think. Corrine Brown, she did some good things, but she just got out of prison. You might have a point.
Why? What makes her better? What makes Amy Klobuchar better than any other the other black women in the Democratic Party? Why her? After everything I just said, and there's more, but everything I just said, what makes her better? Why does she, and not Joe Biden, but why does she deserve your vote?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. My girl Stacey Abrams, hopefully somebody can get this to you. Politics is a chessboard. And the weakest piece on the chessboard is a pawn. And you Negroes, professional Negroes, as Malcolm called you, you're pawns. They use you to their advantage. He used you for whatever he was worth to get to where he needed to be. And now he does not need your black ass. Period. So what you Negroids need to do, as you're going to do, is run to the polls and vote for Joe Biden. Matter of fact, I got the perfect running mate for Joe. Y'all don't know him. You just like we don't know her. It's a homeboy of mine who used to play linebacker on the 9th grade team I was on. See, he was unique because he would never bathe. So the thing was, they called him Funky Joe. Now, Joe could play a hell of a game if he was funky. If he was musty, he'll knock out everybody on the other team. He'll knock out everybody on the other team. And one day we played and Joe came to school cleaned up, haircut, smelling good. And when I played the worst game of his life, I think that should be Joe Biden's running mate. Since we picking people that we don't know nothing about, I got a homeboy named Funky Joe that could fuck up America, because Joe ain't gonna do nothing but fuck up America anyway. And he could have him as a running mate.
Hey, Craig, how are you doing? Known Craig a long time. So he's basically saying he would pick anybody over Trump. And so we hear that a lot, that I would pick anybody over Trump. But then we're asking you, well, why? What makes Trump better? We talking about black people, okay? What makes Trump better or Joe Biden better than Trump in regards to their records? Now, listen, I'm not voting for either one of them. I don't think Trump is a good guy either. But when we say I would rather vote for the lesser of two evils, Like, what makes Joe Biden less evil, considering all of the things that he's done in regards to harming Black people? It's a fact. This is not fiction. And I think it's the sooner we as Black people start dealing in facts, then we'll stop living some science fiction. You know, I mean, listen, you guys go do the research for yourself. Research Amy Klobuchar. Can you imagine Joe Biden, who was tough on Black people, they're going to get a vice president that's tough on Black people? What do you guys think a 4 years from now is going to look like? I mean, honestly.
Well, let me answer this question. And I was going to exactly this exact one from Yao Williams. He says, all this talk about leaving Hitler in office is nuts. Like voting takes anything more than a few minutes, or, you know, what everybody's arguing about. Okay, let's do the numbers. Now, I'm a political junkie. I mean, I sleep and breathe this stuff. White people are 50-50 in their displeasure of power in the United States. They are almost evenly split. So they need a group to put them over the hump. So in answer to y'all's thing, we're not talking about keeping Hitler in office. Now, if the Democrats would give me something for my vote, I'll put them over the top. But they're not doing that. And neither are the Republicans. So if we withhold our vote, it's up to them to see, you know, what side, you know, how they're going to do it. But the Democrats will never win another election without our vote. There's what, 55 congressional Black talkers. Every time a bill is passed in the House, it is usually like a difference of 45 votes. 45 votes, because the white people are split 50-50 just about. So if there's 45 votes between any given bill and there's 55 Black representatives, a pawn, very powerful piece if moved intelligently. So if the Black talkers would go to Nancy Pelosi and say, well, we want reparations and not a study, we want our check, cut the damn check, or no legislation is going to be moved. We can do that. But I'm not going to give my vote away and not get nothing for it. I'd rather just keep it in my pocket. No, I'm not saying vote Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump. But I damn sure ain't going to vote for no damn Joe Biden.
Man, what you want me to tell y'all, man? Let's say we don't vote for Trump. Let's say we don't vote for Biden. We just skip that race. Is it a failure for us? Dude, the man sitting in the seat don't run nothing. Y'all need to keep your eye on the Pelosi's, on the Sheila Jackson Lees. You see what I'm saying? On the John Lewis's, man. That's who you need to be worrying about, man. You see who runs this country. Trump can't just do what he want to do. He got to get the power to do it. But you're so focused on Trump. You're so focused on Trump. They got you with the bullseye on him. And the ones you really need to be watching are the ones that feel like right now you're only worth $1,200. The ones you need to be watching are the ones who are saying on the slick, open the country back up. The hell with the coronavirus. Those the ones that you need to be watching, man. You see what I'm saying? Really, Trump is an underboss to me. The dons are the ones that sit in them congressional seats. You feel what I'm saying? Them the shot callers. And y'all focusing on an underboss. But at the end of the day, what did you think was going to happen when you put a real estate agent in charge of the most powerful country in the world?
Exactly. Y'all says withholding the vote won't do it. If they win and we don't vote, we will not have the leverage at all. I don't want to take a chance with him. Nancy isn't going to be.
Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. So if Trump wins and we take over the Senate and the Congress, we lose? Y'all don't know politics.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Nancy,
I don't give a damn if Trump wins.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get some skin in the game in them two houses.
Right.
That's what I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man, but they don't understand politics.
Exactly. Nancy isn't going to be able to get reparations like you don't need the Senate and the president to sign off. Okay, here's my disagreement with you, Mr. Williams. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Mrs. Williams. Here's my disagreement. I see the Muhammad Ali sign, so please forgive me on that one. Here's my disagreement. Nancy just came up with $3 trillion out her ass. Out her ass. And you're telling me she can't get reparations? Is that what you're telling me? 340 million of that money has been allocated to non-citizens, Mexicans, illegal Mexicans. And you're telling me we can't get reparations? I have to disagree.
They used to getting scraps. Some people are used to getting scraps. Nothing changes. You know, I got a line in a song, man. You getting crumbs off the pie and they keeping the cash money, man. That's what you used to getting. And I was thinking what you just said, I was thinking it. So you telling me we gotta fight tooth and nail to get reparations. But all you could get out the deal on the stimulus was $1,200. $1,200. They didn't even ask for more. A closed mouth don't get fed. Your Democratic Party did not ask for more than $1,200. But they made sure that people that ain't got no skin in the game in this country, not even from here, just like you said, they get more than us. We've been providing free labor for 463 years. And somebody that just popped up on the motherfucking, Trump forgot to build the wall or whatever the hell he was doing down there. They just come over here and get more money than me. But you taking my tax money every day. Y'all better wake the hell up. You got 1,200? Yeah. How much we need to give us reparations, Donovan? How much we need?
First payment is $17 trillion with an annual.
The two stimulus package, how much did they cut the check for?
Oh, 2,400.
24? No, how much? I'm talking about the total amount of both stimulus.
Oh, the total. It's been almost $9 trillion.
Okay, so $9 trillion in less than 2 months, but you can't find 17? All y'all out there that want reparations, I'm finna break your damn heart. You ain't getting no goddamn reparations as long as you got the Democrats in place that's doing what the hell they doing. You ain't getting nothing out the deal. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what you finna get out the deal on June 1st, a goddamn eviction notice.
You know, and that's the problem of us as a people. We aim so low, and you wonder why we don't get anything. Don't tell me they can't give us reparations. What's another 17 trillion on top of the 3 trillion that they're just throwing out there? The deficit is gone. That's blown out the water. So you can't tell me they can't do it. You're going to give money to non-citizens, and yet I can't get a moratorium on rent mortgage and credit bureau reporting. I mean, we got to do better, y'all.
Yeah, Williams says, so the Republicans are going to provide reparations. Let me tell you something about these vindictive ass politicians so you can get a clear understanding. And Dimitri, I want you to follow me, okay? See, I understand how vindictive these bastards are on both sides. So if you shit on one of them, they're going to come back and get you. Have y'all ever thought the Republicans don't do anything for us? Because you motherfuckers was already Republicans. You were doing good. And you went over there and let them people trick you. Now you've been over there for the last 60-something years and you ain't got nothing out to deal. We don't owe you anything. Tell your people to go to work and get you what you need. Stop thinking that the Republicans owe you something. Your Democratic representation needs to go get what you need. The same way them Republicans went to bat for that salon owner in Dallas. Even the governor of the state of Texas went to bat for her. Why has no major black Democratic people stood up and said a damn thing about Ahmaud being murdered? Because they don't have black interests at heart. It's what it is, man. Accept it. Demetri?
You know, I think you both said it all. I mean, we have, as Black people, have not moved the ball since civil rights. We just haven't, and we keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Oh, because you guys notice every year it's a reason why we got to get out there. Oh, this next time, so this next 4 years, or this next November rather, we're supposed to go to the polls in record numbers and get rid of Trump. And then when we get, Nancy Pelosi gets it, gets her way, and if Joe Biden gets in there, and then they can do something for us. Let me tell y'all something. That's never going to happen, because they know that we don't even go for the low-hanging fruit. We always settle for next time. Oh, next time we're going to get you, Black people. But listen, we need you to go to the polls in record numbers and get us in. I didn't watch the documentary, but I heard Michelle Obama was pissed off with Negroes because Negroes didn't go to the polls and really do a good job in getting Hillary Clinton in there, who was married to one of the modern fathers of the crime bills, who also called Black boys super predators and they need to be made to heal, and also was instrumental in taking out Gaddafi in Libya over some bullcaca, also was instrumental in destroying Haiti, Black people all over the world. And so we continuously are used, as Malcolm X said, as political footballs, as Dr. Umar Johnson said, political prostitutes. We always help everybody else get what they want, and we come later. Oh, well, we're going to get ours. We just need to get in there and help No, we're not helping nobody else, because name me one Mexican leader that capes for Black people. Name me one Asian leader that capes for Black people. None of them do it. You know why? For one thing, they don't need to, because they kind of got their own thing going on. So if all else fails, they can kind of depend on themselves. But Black people are always dependent upon the system, the Democrats. Oh, the Democrats are for the people. The Democrats gonna do what do you need them to do for you that we can't do for ourselves? They haven't done anything for us to keep showing our Black asses up to the polls. And let me just say this too before I finish. Neither have the Republicans. Republicans don't love Black people either. They could care less about your Black ass. So the real solution is for us as Black people to take our $1.3 trillion and do something useful with it, instead of largely being consumers and giving 97% of that away to those same people who don't cape for us. Because we may not get reparation no time soon, but we can give our own self reparation by practicing group economics, withholding our vote, because I guarantee you, if we withheld our vote this time, the next time, those mofos are going to listen. They're going to want to know everything that's on our mind, because Democrats, and we say this all the time, cannot win a dog catcher election to become a dog catcher without Black people, period.
Yah Williams said if this were Bush or Reagan or someone else, I'd agree. This is different. So here's the question. What the fuck has Trump done to you Black folk for you to hate him that much? Mm-hmm. What law has he put in place that has hurt Black people so bad to where you would vote for the devil himself? Now I'm going to flip that on you. Show me some legislation or a law that's been put in place by your Black representation that has actually helped us. I've asked this question before. I've gotten nothing. Because you don't know what these Black people have done for you. I had a video that got 5 million views. And I started it off by explaining to you the reason that folks treat us like they treat us is because we don't have a Black agenda. We don't know how to get one. Therefore, ain't nothing finna happen for us. We've spoke on the Black agenda. You understand? But what I can't keep doing is preaching a sermon to some brainwashed Negroes that just don't want to listen. So I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have everybody in your ear telling you you need to vote for Biden. Let's start with your crooked pastor. He already got his money. He going to tell you vote for Biden. He got his money. Your precinct chairs, they bought off. They already got their money. You feel what I'm saying? Your politicians, you need to vote for Biden. But wasn't you just saying to vote for the other dude when he came to town? Wasn't you rocking with Kamala Riding-Ellis? So now it's vote for Biden. You understand what I'm saying? They were talking down on the dude, man. They were talking, but everybody that's gonna tell you what you need to be doing, they ain't got 1,200. They got far more than 1,200. Ask your pastor. I'm gonna throw one of them out there. Bishop James Dixon. What was the man Bloomberg? Bloomberg was coming to Houston. They had set up a barbecue with the mayor. They were gonna give away free barbecue with the mayor. Right? At James Dixon's church. So guess what James Dixon would be doing right now if Bloomberg was still in this race? Telling everybody in this congregation that he needs to vote. They need to vote for Bloomberg. And guess what? He already got his check. And he didn't have to worry about if he had child support, if they were going to take it from him. He didn't have to go through all the red tape that you had to go through to get your little 1,200. Y'all better wake up and clearly understand that the people that's telling you what to do, they already paid in full.
Well, I'm just going to say this, okay? Well, we're not telling you to vote Republican. We're you can vote whoever you want to do, but my whole thing is do your research on these people. I went to the Congressional Black Caucus's YouTube channel. I went to their Facebook page. They love talking about DACA and the Dreamers. Their YouTube channel, they haven't upgraded that thing in 3 and 5 years, some of the videos. And all about hating Trump and we got to get Trump out of there and all this other stuff. Now, I'm talking about 3 and 5 years ago. But we keep voting for these people who don't seem to have an agenda for us. Even if there is no black agenda, what are they going to do? There's no plan.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we keep voting for these people. So you got Stacey Abrams. A lot of people aren't even aware. Go look at her record. So to make a long story short, here's what I'm going to say. If Trump is so bad and so terrible, and you get Joe Biden in there, what is going to be any different? You had a black president and you didn't get nothing. So what's going to be any different?
Well, here's my thing, and Demetri, follow me. I don't know how y'all gonna take this. I'm gonna boycott the war zone. God damn it, when I ask a question, I want to answer. You people out there got every answer in the world. I asked you, what did Trump do to make you hate him that much? What did he do to black people? And I ain't got no damn answer yet. I'm boycotting. I'm through talking. Answer the question. You know why you can't answer the question? Because you've been conditionally trained to go against him no matter what. By the same people who putting the deck to you. I'm through talking. I'm sitting here. I'm not talking no more.
I guess that leaves Donovan and I. And let me say this. I think we'd be remiss to say that Trump has done nothing, right? Trump has done stuff to black people. Before he was in office, we all know the story of the Central Park Five, where he took out all those, ads in the newspaper calling for their death, even though they were innocent. Him and his father have participated in
being lifelong Klan members. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, and his parent, him and his dad discriminating against black renters and, all of that stuff. So I don't want to make it seem like Trump is an angel. He's not, including calling racists very fine people. And so Trump is not a good dude, right? But if we're talking about policy-wise, what policies have, and maybe I don't know, but what policies have Trump enacted or initiated that harm black people opposed to that of Joe Biden? And I also want to address DJ Young. How you doing? You say the idea of hold your vote, don't vote at all, I guess, quote unquote, is reckless. Explain to me, when have we ever had a perfect candidate? Thanks for sharing. Well, we know that there is no such thing as perfect candidate, but we should hold our vote if we're not going to get anything for it, because it's really the same thing at this point. Whether you vote for a candidate that's not going to help you move the ball, or you don't vote at all. It's really the same thing. But I guarantee you, if Black people said, hey, we're not going to vote, we're going to sit this out, because for one thing, Joe Biden, you said day one, you're going to help the LGBTQ community. Then you follow that up by DACA. So you're not even going to address us no time soon. So how about we all hold our vote, and then when we actually get something for it, we'll think about putting our football back on the field. It's the same thing. And so we need to, like, Black people are just so freaked out. Oh, I got to vote. I got to vote. Oh, I got to vote. I got to get Trump out of there. For what? Like the general said, nobody's really even answered the question as to why we need to get Trump out of there and put Joe Biden in there. Why?
Right.
Like,
Lance.
Simple question.
Mm-hmm. Lance Velez says, do you guys believe the whole Trump has raised Black workers' employment higher than any time in history? I was on the show earlier, and I addressed that situation. Now, the employment index is based on full employment, the real employment index. Now, in the Reagan years, he changed it to say part-time work. So let's say the Black unemployment rate is 5%, which we know is bullshit, because you could look in your neighborhood, the same guys are sitting on the corner unemployed. So employment, when they count the numbers, I'm a Black man, and let's say I have 3 part-time jobs. Am I counted 1 time, or am I counted 3 times? I'm counted 3 times. So the numbers, they're not correct. We all know in the Black community, when they say unemployment is 5%, it's actually 15 to 20%. We know this. Those are the numbers. And that's how they do it. It's an accounting trick. When they say, oh, it's never been lower, that's not true. When we talk about the Black family income, they say the Black family income is about $14,000. The poverty level is about $14,000. A white family is $177,000, right? But what constitutes a family? A husband, a wife, and kids. 70% of Black households are run by single mothers. So by that definition of what the federal government says is a family, our numbers aren't even 14,000. We're probably at 7,000, if not less. So the numbers are really skewed on that. So
let me address Trisha. Let me see. Where did her comment go? Bear with me 1 second. Did I lose it? Okay, so she says Trump is vindictive. He cut funds in housing, Medi-Cal aid, and education. Okay, now let's take it the next step further. Why do you think we as Black people predominantly depend on those things? It's because we've been voting Democrats who has kept us, you know how they put a carrot in front of the horse to make it go, but the horse will never bite the carrot. But in his mind, it's like, if I'm just fast enough, if I just, I'll bite the carrot. That's what Democrats have been doing to us. And they've been sprinkling a little Medicare, a little food stamps, a little this to keep us docile. But the one thing we should be thinking of, yeah, Trump is vindictive, but if we as Black people have had our stuff together and kept most of our $1.3 trillion that we earn every year within the community, like Nipsey Hussle said, all money in, that stuff would be of no consequence to us because we would have our stuff together. But it's predominantly us that depend on that stuff. So first we got to fix the dependency on those things. And then we wouldn't care if Kermit the Frog was in the White House because our stuff would be airtight. We got to stop being dependent upon the Republicans or the Democrats because neither one of us mean us any good.
Exactly.
And also, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And I was going to say too, and I think it was he says basically MAGA is going to take us back to the days of our grandparents. Let me tell you something.
Those were some good days.
Right, you know what I'm saying? We're worse off than our grandparents because at least our grandparents had a sense of community. They have practiced group economics. They didn't have food deserts. They had all their stuff together. They had a segregation going on, which is not necessarily a bad thing at this point. So, but even so, when Trump came into office, that didn't make that worse for us. Us being dependent upon the Democrats have made this the case for Black people. And you also keep talking about the judges. Oh, well, he's going to appoint these judges. Well, what have the left-leaning judges done for Black people? What have they done to change the game for Black people when the Democratic president was in office? What did they do that helped us?
Yeah, currently right now, okay, Trump is such a douchebag. He's doing all these other things. I haven't heard the congressional Black talkers say anything. Nancy Pelosi, who leads the Democrats in the House, anybody, just answer this question. And I'm, and then I'm just going to prove my point. Please name me a landmark legislation that Nancy Pelosi has proposed that has impacted the lives of Americans and Democrats all across this nation and in the territories to why she should be leader of the Democratic Congress. Do you want to know why she's the leader of the Democratic Congress? And she said this. She should be leader because she raises the most money. Period. Done. Where did she get her money from? The same people the Republicans get their money from. Do your whole, I mean, it's, you guys, we're not saying, don't give up, but the point is the game is rigged. There's one body, right arm, Republican, left arm, Democrat. White supremacy is the body. So what's the difference? The difference, the only way you're going to make a difference is at the local level, vet those candidates, and when they aren't doing what they're supposed to do, or either recall them or after their term is up, get somebody else in there. It's as simple as that. You have to show them what you're going to do. Now, a lot of you guys don't want to hold your vote. I don't vote for evil no matter what side of the ball evil is on. But if I held my vote, ain't no Democrat in California going to be representing on the federal level. Ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
And I would say this too. For those of you guys don't know, Nancy Pelosi has this giant walk-in freezer with every flavor of ice cream you could ever eat. Well, what does that do for you? Not nothing. It doesn't do anything for you. And I want to take Lanisha. What's happening, girl? Her comment. She says, I live in a red state, 1.3 Blacks, yet I thrive better than ever before, financially and professionally, primarily because I'm a Black woman, in my opinion. What's your opinion as to why Black folks here don't struggle as we do in other states? Because I believe you live in a state that is represented by the Republicans, as Marcus Garvey told us as Black people, up, you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. As Honorable Elijah Muhammad also said, and Farrakhan says, do for self. And so the point that I'm making is, we know that the Republicans aren't really friendly with a whole lot of socialism, if you will. A lot of socialism hurts Black people. And so if you're in a situation to where you have to do for self, guess what you're going to do? You're going to either do for self or you're going to starve. And so, not saying that, because I know Lanisha. Lanisha's a hustler, bar none. But a lot of people in that state, because she going to hustle anyway. But a lot of people that live in that area, they got to do for self. Like, we don't have any. Like, my sister-in-law is from Panama. And she says, we don't have welfare. She said, if somebody loses their job, they better cook them some dinners and go knock door to door and sell some plates or something. But you learn to do for self. And so that's what we have. We haven't been privy of that in a very long time, of learning how to do for self. And as Farrakhan says, and I'm paraphrasing, that Trump is actually going to make the hood great again, because it's going to force Black people to realize that we ain't got nobody but us.
Yeah, so Dion Hayes says, okay, but like I said, why fully fund those programs with highest employment opportunities in decades? Some of the programs you were saying?
So he said, why? Okay, so he says, why fully fund those programs with highest employment opportunities in decades? I don't really understand the question as much.
I think what he's saying, with everybody losing their jobs recently, why continue to fund those things and just cut it out? Well, so that they would do it for self.
Well, if that's what he's saying, I mean, the coronavirus is no fault of anybody who's lost their job. So I think they should help people. It's not like, those people weren't doing anything before. A lot of those people that are on those programs now weren't on the programs before. So if I don't have a job to go back to, which we know a lot of jobs aren't coming back, yeah, I'm gonna need some help. But I think people forget that those programs are for temporary help. They're to help you when you are not on your feet. It's not a lifestyle. And we know, and I'm not trying to engage in stereotypes because everybody, abuses the system, if you will. But we know disproportionately it is us. And the Democrats want it that way. Let's give these Negroes a couple $100 a month in welfare, and they'll continue to, give them some housing, $20 a month, and they'll continue to vote for us. And so those programs are funded because a lot of people who didn't need them before now need them.
Right. But, explain to me, and you guys got to listen to this. We're the richest country in the world. This money that they're doling out is our tax dollars, our money. How is it that France can give their people $2,400 a month until whenever? Canada, they're giving their people, I think, $3,500 until whenever. But we are so content to take $1,200 one-time payment, while they give trillions to the corporations. Trillions. Now, I'm not going to toot my horn here, but I'm going to have to. My stocks have never done better. And I'm not going to feel guilty about my money making money for me. But just like Tisha K says, multiple streams of income. We got to start thinking differently, because one thing that this virus has shown, and the Democratic Party has shown us, for this system to work for the last 200-something years, you got to have somebody on the bottom, and that somebody is us.
And Tara, I think that's how you say your name, says actually white people. I said disproportionately Black people are on those programs. We are only 12, 13, 14% of the population. And white people are 60 something, maybe 50-ish, somewhere around there. So a disproportionately.
Yeah, I hate when you give them the answer and then they want to go into these generalities. If you're 50% of the population compared to 13% of the population, which Black people are, and we've only been 13% for the last 60 years, we're not growing. So if white people are 50%, yes, of course, by proportion of their population, there's more of them. But if you take just our 13%, 70% of us are on some kind of assistance. 70% of us. Them, no, not proportionate wise.
Yeah, so, one thing I try not to do is speak without facts or some fact based. I'm not one of those people that, because there's a lot of people that we'll see on the internet that just says stuff and it's nowhere near true. But I try not to do that. I'm not saying I'm never wrong. I am wrong sometimes, but I think when we do that, we distract from what really needs to be said. And the bottom line is, we as Black people need to get back to where we were in our grandparents' situation. Hell, our grandparents were able to leave us property and things, after working with their bare hands to build something from the ground up. And here we are, a couple of generations removed, we're still like sucking the titties of the Democratic Party, looking for just a little bit of something. We need to go back to our grandparents' time when they were doing for self. They're like, well, there's no more excuses at this point, and to continue voting for the Democrats, because we don't vote for Republicans. That's why we mostly talk about the Democrats, because we don't really vote for the Republicans. They got 8% of our vote the last election, the last presidential election. So we really don't vote for Republicans. We disproportionately and overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats. So that's why we keep talking about them. They're not going to do anything for Black people, even though Black people are the reason that they are in offices. They're not. It's time for us to start doing for ourselves, even if we withhold our vote. And within that time, say, okay, this is what we need. Because I'm not saying withhold the vote and don't do nothing. I'm saying withhold the vote and maybe talk about a party that's for us. Let's start thinking about, in terms of group economics, how we can get off of all these social programs that the Democrats keep dangling in front of us like a carrot. Let's do those things. Let's be productive. Let's ignore politics for a while. Why don't we just ignore it and start working on ourselves? We are in an abusive relationship with politics, specifically the Democrats. They keep giving us a black eye, and then they keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm never going to do that again. Next time I'm going to treat you better. I'm going to take you out to dinner and give you roses and all this other stuff. And then the next time comes and pow! Now you got a bloody lip, and then like an abuse victim, not to make light of that, we keep going back. It's an abusive relationship, and we need to stop being abused.
I sat here and I listened. I sat here and I listened, and I read the comments. I read the comments. Everything that we go through is never our fault. It's never our fault. So I'm gonna see if I can make sense to me. I need to make sense to me. So every morning, my mama would wake me up and send me.
Can I just say this real quick? I don't mean to cut you off, but it just needs to be said. Toussaint Louverture. I don't know what it is you can't listen to, but how do you have that name? Because I know that's not really your name. I don't think it is. Maybe your mama did name you. If I'm not mistaken, you're using the name of the guy who led the Haitian revolt, and you're talking about you can't listen to this? Take that name off of your profile picture. How dare you? If that's not your real name, use that name talking about you can't listen to this. You faking the funk. All right, go ahead.
It's the white man's fault that my mama woke me up every day to go to school. It's the white man's fault that when I went to school some days I cut up and act a damn fool. It's the white man's fault I got suspended. Well, it's also the white man's fault that I figured it out and then I ended up graduating. It's the white man's fault that I decided I need to figure out different streams of income so I can live the life that I want to live without selling dope. But it's the white man's fault that I even went and picked up the dope in the first place to try to get my hustle on. It's the white man's fault that all my peoples ended up going to jail because they couldn't stop selling the dope when they had made enough money. It's the white man's fault that we end up on public assistance, and we should use it for a little bit of time, but we decide to live on it for a lifetime. It's the white man's fault when they get sick of you getting this public assistance that they decide to kick you off when they get ready. So it's the white man's fault that the pandemic came through and exposed every flaw that Black America has. It's the white man's fault that you don't have the technology in your schools right now. It's the white man's fault that you have food deserts in your neighborhoods. It's the white man's fault that your black politicians are harvesting the vote. It's the white man's fault, intelligent black people. But the problem is you have more than enough knowledge to do for your damn self. Stop eating off other people's tables, and then you don't have to worry about what the hell they do. Get off your ass and go get you a job. You know why unemployment stays high? Did y'all ever think about it? Ain't the point that they don't have jobs out there. We're not qualified for them. We don't have the education that it takes to get the jobs because that's not important to us. We would rather pay a cell phone bill than to buy insurance. You see, but that's the white man's fault. Every time we screw up, it's their fault. I don't give a damn who you vote for. I don't care. And no, Trump ain't gave me the check yet. I'm a woke black. That's what I am. And every day, sick or not, colostomy bag or not, I get off my fat ass and I go out there and get it. I don't ask nobody for nothing. And you laying up in your fucking house paying $20 a month and getting an eviction notice? But that's the white man's fault. Your problem is you don't want to be responsible. Black men and black women, it's too much work for you.
I just want to put a disclaimer in there because I agree with 95% of what you said, but we're not never ever, I said not never, yes I did. We're not never going to forget that white people are responsible for institutional and systemic racism. They got this ball rolling, and we have just not been able to come up from under it, because I agree, we do make a lot of excuses. We make a lot of excuses. We got $1.3 trillion. Right? So to Gary's point, whose fault is it that we spend most of it on nonsense? As overall, as black people, we don't produce anything. We are consumers. Every other community eats off of black people, right? So you take it back to the politicians. These politicians, whether it's federal, state, or local, hell, let's talk about local. Look at the stuff they allow to be built in our communities. They know we are food deserts. They know we have all that, but you know what they also know? They know we're not going to bust a grape. Like I said, every time I've gone to a city hall meeting, I see white people in there, and everybody else, they're proactive. Oh, no, don't build that weed shop in our neighborhood. We won't stand for it. But we go in there when they done already built the 10th weed shop up in there, or we got all these problems. We go after the fact instead of going before the fact. But the fact of the matter is, we have got to start doing for self. And Tara, I want to address your comment on the screen because I don't see a problem with us using governmental services. I pay taxes. I should be able to use it when I need to. Now, I had said that's what it's for when the operative word is need it. It is not a lifestyle. And as long as we keep, not saying you, but as long as we keep thinking, oh, I can't survive without it, the Democrats will always have us as a voter without having to do nothing for us.
It's so easy to fix some of these problems. But yet when you speak on it, and I agree with 95% of what you said, where I'm gonna disagree is if a man is hungry, get your ass up and go get some money. I don't look. Every time I pass by somebody on the street that's out with a sign, I put money in the bucket. But then I also think, man, if he out here every day, he making a killing. He making a killing. Okay, so now you got all this money that you've made. Won't you do something with it? Why is it so hard for us to get together 10 or 12 of us and pool our money and do what we do? You're trying to figure out how the Asians putting these beauty supplies and these nail salons on every black corner. Well, 10 of them will come over here. This is what was told to me by Asian. 10 of them will come over here. They'll all pool their money together to open one beauty supply for whoever that person is. When that person makes enough money to pay the group back it took to start that one, they open another one for the next person. And they just keep opening them, and keep opening them, and keep opening them until they have 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Why can't black people follow the blueprints that have already been put in place? Because you're too busy sucking on that alcohol and shaking your goddamn ass every Friday night. It ain't in your mind to elevate. It's got to be in your mind to elevate. Do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? Because a lot of people, I want to be rich. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. It's generational. I can leave money for my kids. I can leave money for my grandkids. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. You have to start being, you say you love Farrakhan, you're not listening to him. Do for yourself. Right now is if you don't even know about the stock market, $15, $20 could make you a whole bunch of money right now. But you ain't gonna do that. You wait until tomorrow night in Texas when they say the club can open. Carrollton parking lot gonna be ridiculous because you'll spend your money there instead of trying to invest it. Y'all Williams, you got a lot of comments, bro. I'm gonna just leave that alone because you saying who
Lady.
doesn't want to do for themselves? Black people. Because if you was doing for yourself, we wouldn't be in beg mode right now.
Right. I just want to address real quick Wanda's comment. She says, I agree, but they are talking against only the Democrats. That's all I'm saying. I don't, it perplexes me how people get what we're saying, that we're talking about the Democrats. If you're in danger and somebody's about to mug you, do you want me to warn you, or do you want me just to stay silent? Because the Democratic Party has done more damage to Black people than the Republican Party. A Republican guy is like, we don't even want to deal with you. You're not even rich, so we're not even on our level. But the Dummycrat, which is what I say, the Dummycrat, I mean, they're the ones that are, hey, here's $1,200. You know what? We're going to give you more child care. We're going to do more of this and more of that. They're taking away from us and actually hurting us. So all we're saying is this. And again, I'm still waiting for somebody to answer the general's question. And I've been reading these comments. Not one person has said, what has Trump done that you guys hate him so much? And we're not Trump supporters. But the point of the matter is this, Wanda.
And the thing is when I say that, Donovan, I'm not defending Trump.
Right.
Before I put that pistol in your face and I get ready to kill you, I have to have a reason why. Before I go to war, I need a reason why. So if you're not going to vote for me, Trump this and that, okay, but what has he done? I have not gotten that answer. Exactly. Because you have been conditioned. These people spent 4 years trying to get this man out of office, knowing full well it wasn't going to happen. I'm gonna show you how dumb some of these people are. Let's talk about it. Okay, now you tell me if this is a dumb move. In Texas, we got ballot harvesting, right? Major problem. You see, I send you the articles. All right, that means they cheating on the early ballots. Okay, so the Attorney General files suit at the state level and says we want to stop all early ballot voting. Okay, the judge tells him no. He takes it to the Fifth Circuit, right? He takes it to the Fifth Circuit, but before he goes, another judge says you can early ballot in the mail all you want. Let me show you how these people messing off your money. So now they take your tax money, they take it to the Fifth Circuit. I'm going to ask a realistic question. If it doesn't work in the Fifth Circuit and they take it to the Supreme Court, who the fuck runs the Supreme Court? I'm just asking. Because you got to remember, Trump just put a man in there, Kavanaugh. You really think them Republicans ain't going to shoot that down and say no early ballot voting? Y'all got to understand the game. These people do things to make you believe they're doing things. But they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. So to say, oh, you picking on the Democrats, well, I tell you what. Tell me what I need to talk about on the Republican side. They ballot harvested. The only difference is they ain't getting caught. They ain't making the moves these people making it. They doing this right in front of your eyes right now. And they so used to doing it, you can't see they're shitting on you. Because they have the one deflection mechanism that they need, which is Trump, to keep you blinded by everything else that they're doing. That's what I'm talking about.
I just have one question, and it sums it up. And it sums it up for me. Look at Democratic districts or neighborhoods, and you tell me. To me, that just sums it up. You tell me. Look at Democratic neighborhoods, predominantly that we live in, compared to Republican-held neighborhoods. Mitra?
I would just say this. If someone truly loves you, they teach you how to be a victor and not a victim. If the Democrats really loved Black people, and to Donovan's point, our neighborhoods wouldn't look the way they do. If they really loved Black people, they would teach you how to fish instead of giving you that little funky ass sardines you get. They would teach you how to be self-sufficient. They would teach us about building businesses and having better educations and not having food deserts and those type of things. They would teach us actually how to thrive instead of how just to barely survive. And that's what Black people have been doing for voting Democrats for over 60 years. We have just been barely surviving. We're not thriving. And so when you say, Wanda, why basically are we always talking about the Democrats? Why are we going to talk about Republicans when we don't vote for Republicans? 8% of Black people who voted for the Republicans last election cycle. So, but most of us vote for Democrats, and we're not getting in. Like, I'm at the point to where I just don't get it. Like, I wonder if we're speaking an inaudible language or something sometimes. But I get it. I get it. Some people cannot let go of the old ideas, right? Oh, we love us so much. Oh, they're doing this and that for us. Oh, Republicans are evil. They're both evil. Both of them.
So somebody said he stopped or cut funding for education. Education been messed up since they made George Wallace move from in front that school door. When Black people integrated into them schools, our educational component has been screwed up for almost 70 years. Don't blame that on Trump. Don't blame that on Trump. Oh, well, the Secretary of Education, before that woman got in there, she dumb as a bag of rocks. They were screwing Black kids anyway. Let's get that straight. As long as you running your kids through the magnet schools that were created to circumvent Brown versus the Board of Education. They were created to circumvent Brown versus the Board of Education. Then you have not got it. We should have stayed on our own. We had more lawyers, more doctors, more money. We owned more land, but we got tricked. And while you were having this, you were a Republican. And the Democrats tricked you and ain't did a damn thing for you since they tricked you.
And to your point, about education, let's take a Dr. Umar Johnson. You think what you will about Dr. Umar Johnson, but he's been trying to build a school for years, right? There's a lot of other people been trying to build Black schools. But we say we want better education, but we keep fighting to get into a school system that has never been for Black people. We frown at the idea of sending your child to a Black-ran school where Black people are going to teach your Black child about their Black selves and give them an education that's going to actually help them. I tell you guys, it's a lot. My father had turned down a full ride scholarship to Pepperdine University and went and studied under the Nation of Islam instead. He said, because I knew going to that white institution was not going to teach me about my Black self. And he's been a better man for it because he has knowledge of self. So that's another thing. We as Black people have no knowledge of self. So what? And how you doing, Huey? But no admonishment to you, but so what? He's cutting educational funding. Like the general said, the education has been screwed up for Black people for a very long time. And Gary will tell you, because he's on the front lines, he'll tell you that a lot of Black parents, not to speak negatively, but they don't show up in droves behind him when he's fighting for their kids. He ain't got no kids in the school system.
Let me give you an example. I put an APB out for the war zone. I asked superintendents to show up for the war zone. Let's have a discussion. I got a white one already booked. Where the Black ones? Where the Black ones? I want to know why JFK, Lyndon B. Johnson, These white folks that really cared so much about black people and they were Democrats, why would you let them do that to us from an educational standpoint? Why would you fight to give us all this and then once we get it, you let them shit on us? Because you knew what? That was your plan from the gate. Give them a little piece of heaven and they gonna shut their mouth.
Real quick, real quick. Wanda says, so wish you all would respond to comments and perspectives in the manner it is given. It's like as if you have a difference of opinion or reply to one of you, then it's taken out in a different route in the person's comments. Okay, I'm going to stop reading right there. Anybody is welcome to come on this show. Just send the 5-star general a link. I mean, Wanda, you're talking now. I'm inviting you. Come on in. Come on in. So we don't distort what you're saying. Come on in.
Every night, Wanda comes on here with this same thing. So what I'm going to do for you, Wanda, I got 3 other pages. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see how bad you want this. I'm going to block you from this page. You send me an inbox to my other page when you are ready to bring your ass on this screen and stop bumping your mouth. Come sit up here and have this conversation. Or you just one of them keyboard gangsters. So while I'm sitting here, let me show you, because I'm not playing no game. Let me show you better than I can tell you. Get from behind that screen and come on with it, little mama. Because you ain't finna come here and keep defending the people that's screwing my neighborhoods. And if I have a problem with them on this show, on my page, I can have that problem. When you put your boots on every day and go into your community and fight the way that we fight, then you can run your mouth. I'm finna help you.
Yeah, and for everybody out there, just real quick, we're having a great discussion. The only way we can interpret your comments is based on our experiences. So if you don't want your comments misconstrued or whatever, there could be up to 6 people up on the screen at any given time. Just send your email. We'll send you a link and come on in and prove yourself. And say what you got to say. But it's easy to sit there, behind the keyboard. Nobody sees you. You can just do what you got to do. Come on out here and just say what you got to say. I mean, that's what that's the whole.
You know why they can't do that? You know why they can't do that? Because their Democratic boss will fire their black ass in a heartbeat. That's why you can't do it. You know why you can't open up and say what you need to say as a teacher? Because your democratically elected school board will fire your ass in a heartbeat. That's why you can't come up here and say it.
And I would say this, Ali, how you doing? You say, oh, since she's not conforming to your ideology, it's not even that. Because Marcus Garvey even said that when he was trying to take black people back to Africa, he said there are some Negroes that are no good here, and no doubt they'll be no good over there. So we can't focus on them. So it's not even our ideology. You can research what we're talking about, but it's a distraction when you continuously have people. If you say potato, they don't say potato. Just because, why do that? People are trying to actually learn something, and then you have a distraction. Wanda has, this is not just today with Wanda. Wanda constantly gets on here, and she could say, somebody could say, water is wet. Or is it wet? Why do y'all say water is wet? Now, I don't know if she sounds like that, but in my head, she does. So it's like, we need to focus on the people who want to have a conducive conversation. We're not saying you need to agree with us, but stop going against the grain. You don't even have any facts, but you're just throwing stuff out there. It's a distraction. It's a waste of time to have to address those comments, especially when they're not even rooted in anything. You're just talking.
Well, I'll say this here. This program is a great program. It may not be what you want. The truth is what it is. It ain't what you want to hear some days. But I ain't going to say who my daughter is on this page. But she on it every night. And she tear y'all asses up. Barely cracking 21. And can tear your ass up. Because she can see it. It's common sense. But when you don't want to see something, you always have a problem with the way it's delivered. You always have a problem with the way that it was delivered. So I want you to be opinionated, but I get frustrated when we gotta, like every night, we gotta answer the question, what's the black agenda? Well, go sit your purple ass down. Because I can't keep telling it to you. You know, and the thing is, if you don't want to know the truth about Joe Biden, when I make the flyer and I post it, don't come on the program that night. Because we're going to tell the truth about Joe Biden. We're going to tell the truth. Ain't nobody up here say they down with Trump. I said Trump is a crazy man. But what did you expect from a real estate agent? You can't get mad at his skill set because that's all he got. Trump in the business of making money. So anything that's going to make Trump some money, that's what he's messing with right now. That's the reason he stay at the golf course all the time. He makes money over there. He ain't making no money in the White House. He donates his salary. He got to go to golf course and making money, man. But what I'm saying, in an essence, Trump is not your biggest problem. It's them people up under them congressmen, them senators. Those are your problems. And you don't want to address those people because you're probably taking pictures with them.
How often does the black politician come into the very neighborhood he represents? I see them once every 2 years.
And we continuously vote for those people for absolutely nothing. So, you know, I'm like Gary. I just like, sometimes I get tired of talking. It is very exhausting. You know, it's like y'all think three people, not y'all, we ain't talking to y'all, but we're talking, I'm just speaking in general. I think three people gonna get up here nightly and just lie. In the world of Google, where you can go and this is on tape, but some people say you can go fact check what we said. In the world of Google, y'all think we're just gonna get up here and just lie? Let's get up here and tell some lies. Like the Democratic Party nor the Republican Party has written me any checks. I'm speaking to y'all as a somewhat informed black woman who knows a little bit about politics and some other stuff. But I mean, it's like at some point in time, we just got to be open for suggestions because the way we've been doing things has not been working for us. We're continually getting worse as black people in every way, shape, and form. How in the hell is the coronavirus disproportionately affecting us as black people? Because we suffer the most from a whole bunch of ailments that the Democrat Party especially is not trying to help us fix. Instead of saying, okay, let's stop putting these liquor stores in these food deserts. Let's actually put a Whole Foods there, or some, you know, some good black owned grocery stores there where we can get some good nutrients. Let's put, because they're predominantly the most unhealthiest people. Let's actually do some things that's going to help. Let's give them education to help them reverse the things that's going on with them, but they won't do that. And so here we are suffering the most due to the coronavirus. We're dying, but yet we're going to continuously vote for people who have done nothing for us. I'm flabbergasted.
When you know better, you do better. But the bottom line is some of us don't want to do better. Yah said his supporters are the biggest problem of them all. No, Yah, that's not true. Self-ignorance is the biggest problem. Because his supporters does not make us go and vote for the same failed black politicians every 4 years. His supporters don't do that to us. That's us. It's us. And see, that's the problem. We can't get on here and tell you the truth without you deflecting. So a lot of these comments that y'all make on the real, it's worse than the fake news. Self-ignorance through your comments tell me everything I need to know. Karita Cheek said, nah, we have to stop patronizing those businesses. I've been stopped. I don't have to. If I talk like a G, I'm going to walk like one. If you ain't black owned, you ain't getting my money. And that's it. I don't have to figure this out at 52 years old. If we still trying to do it, we ain't gonna get nothing done. But you can't keep blaming that on them people. Okay, so let me give another comment. He said, they are the ones out there and killing and harassing and killing folk, just like we doing too. Want to talk to me? You want to talk to me? Let's talk. Let's talk about all these marches that we doing right now. Because a white man killed a black one. When is the march for the black man killing the black man? When is the march for the black man sleeping with the black baby? Where's that march at? Where's the march for the kids that ain't going to school every day? Not because their parents can't afford to send them, because they black ass won't go. Where that march at? Where the march at for the crooked pastors sleeping with our kids in their churches? God damn it, before I march against something against a white man, I'll march against you first. Get your mind right, man.
The killing of us will stop when we get serious about us. When we start loving ourselves first. And I'm not talking about, what about black on black crime? I'm talking about loving ourselves enough to do for self. Like, I envision, I don't have any food on the table, right? I got a bunch of kids screaming and hollering because they're starving, they're crying. And imagine me waiting for somebody to knock on the door and say, well, here, I'm going to give you a little bit of food. Really? You think that'll ever happen? Or am I going to get off my ass and go get something? My dad, one of my dad's shirts he used to wear in the 70s, it was two buzzers. And one says, and I'm paraphrasing because I forget how it goes. He goes, well, let me go out there and kill something, right? We need to have, as black people, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about we need to have that killer instinct. It's do for myself or die. Because we are at that point now to where if we don't do for ourselves, we are going to die. And so we talk about whether Trump supporters are harassing and killing us. They've been harassing and killing us.
Let me say this. Yah said, listen to you, these folks go to jail. What that book say? Tell me the title of that book, Demetri.
Criminal Procedure.
Okay, hold on a second. What does this book say?
American government.
AmGov. Long story. Mm-hmm.
What does this book say?
Juvenile
justice.
And what does this book say?
Criminal
investigation.
You're going to have to do your goddamn homework before you ever think about sending Gary Monroe to jail. Pick up a book, man. Learn the laws. Learn the laws. If you took time out to do that instead of criticizing people who actually might know more than you, maybe you wouldn't go to jail. But the same way I can get out there and I can crucify these white folk is the same way I can get out there and tell you that us killing each other ain't fixing the problem. You know, when the white man kill us, we downtown screaming, no justice, no peace. And you know what I tell the brothers when they kill each other? If you ain't gonna have no peace, I can't get you no justice. I can't get you no justice downtown. What y'all doing, man. We gotta be smarter than that. That's why I told y'all what Brad said the other day. Our job is to make it home from the traffic stop. You can't win that battle. The judicial system was not built for us. Nothing about it was built for us. Now, the best thing that you can do to survive it is educate yourself on it. But you don't want to take the time to do that. You're too busy watching Pornhub. You won't take the time to educate yourself. And in the perfect world, and I want you to understand something, the Democrats have a bunch of punks on their side. You know why I say that? Because a program this vocal, if they were in charge of the White House, they'd have shut us down a long time ago. But they have no power. They're powerless right now. And y'all can't even see it. You can't even see it. So before I get out my bed and go and try to check a Republican, I'm going to check my house first and make sure I'm doing the right goddamn things at all times. I'm not telling you to be a punk. I'm not telling you to lay down for nobody. But if you ain't got no peace in the neighborhood, I can't get you no justice downtown, bruh. I can't get you no justice because I'm reading these books. That man that did all that to those people in Houston, when he killed those 2 innocent white people, I'm the black man standing up for the 2 innocent white people that were killed by Gerald Goins and that hit squad from the Houston Police Department. Well, today, the DA said 91 people who Goins was in the middle of getting them convicted, sent to jail, all that. Those things, they're overturning those 91 cases. So I'm going to show you how real I am. See, when you talk about me, you better wake up and understand I do this for real, man. I'm going to show you something, and I want you to hear me. Let me see if I can get it up there for you. 91 cases with Goins are being overturned. Can you tell me if my 2 clients are a part of the 91? Her response was, let me check and get back to you. Who is that? Second in command of the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Go pick you up a goddamn book before you come my way, homeboy. Because I do this in my sleep. I want justice. But you can't keep thinking you're going to get justice if we running through the hood killing each other. And you can't blame that on a Democrat or a Republican.
You know, and Farrakhan says a lot. He says if y'all, speaking of us, all of us, would spend the time that we spend hating him and talking against him and use that time to better ourselves and to just, you know, kind of go along and help him, try to help Black people, we would be way better off. So the point that I make is a lot of times we as Black people, we do a lot of, well, how do I know? Well, what do you mean by that? You know, it's just like you, and then a lot of times we don't even know why we're asking because we're just conditioned to go against the grain. As they say, we always think the white man's ice is colder than ours. So if you hear Black people saying something, well, nah, I got to see, I got the double, triple, quadruple check what you talking about before I even think about it. But if somebody white tell you the same information, oh, well, you know, that do sound true though. Yeah, I think I even read somewhere about it being a total lie. I think I read about that somewhere.
Yeah, you know, just real quick, Demetra, how many times was I telling people to invest in that cannabis stock? How many times?
You've been saying that for weeks.
Weeks. I mean, even before that. And it hit. And everybody after the fact, yeah, it's like, oh, well, how can I get into it? Well, you can get into it, but that stock went from 50 cents to 17. So, but if Warren Buffett had said it, they would have been on it.
They'd have did it in a heartbeat. Y'all says white folks go to jail when they kill us. White folks don't go to jail when they kill us. They ain't supposed to. The system wasn't built to send them. It was built to send us. And the crazy part, they tell you this in the books. They tell you that in the book. It was never built for them. It was built for the whole judicial system was built to protect the wealthy. So yes, there are white ghettos for a reason. They're poor and they don't give a damn about them either. They use everybody that they can use when they need to use them.
And Donovan, who that even they'll if you make even the poorest white person think that they're better than the best Black person. What was that, Donovan?
Oh, that quote. God, who said that quote? I'm having a brain seizure right now.
Some Dixiecrat back in the day basically said.
Oh yeah. That was Lyndon Baines Johnson. If you make the poorest white man think he's better than the richest black man, you got him.
Yeah. And so, yeah, but you know, there's poor people in the ghettos, white people in the ghettos, but you know, they people gonna look out for them before they look out for us. If you don't believe me, go back to the time of the Great Depression when, you know, white people were getting all the food and all the jobs that they were to get, and black people were literally starving, which is how we became Democrats, because it was Roosevelt and his wife actually said, oh, let's cater to the Negroes. Let's get them something so we can get them to vote, you know, to vote. And that's how we ended up being a Democrat due to the New Deal, right? So even back in those times, white people still ate before black people did. And it's going to be like that now.
Well, I say this here that like me and you, we can see it in each other's face, y'all, because us three, we talk and we communicate. It's frustrating to try to make you understand it. It's frustrating, man. It's not rocket science. It's not. And if it's not what you want to hear, you're never going to hear it regardless of how it's presented. You're never going to hear it regardless of how it was presented. So you telling me that we can't accumulate any wealth? I'm telling you that if you saved $1 a week from the day your baby was born until they're 18, they have a hell of a trust fund. They have a hell of a trust fund. That's how the white kid gets ahead of ours. By the time they finish school, they got a trust fund, they good to go. And ours got a whole bunch of debt. We don't want to be financially responsible for ourselves. And we got to stop blaming everybody else for what we are not doing. These people are not obligated to take care of us. And you got $2,400 out the deal. You blessed. They wasn't going to give you that. You could have got more if your representation would have asked for it. But they didn't. But they made sure that their rich friends were taken care of. But your poor black ass gonna get 12 and you gonna sit down. I'm just telling you, that's how I feel. So to clarify this here, am I voting for Trump? Nope. Am I voting for Biden? Nope. I'm not even worried about that race. I'm gonna look at the other ones. But I can't ride with the lesser of two evils. So all we're really here to do is educate you. That's all we're here to do. And I'm glad some days we agree, some days we don't. That's the nature of what we do every single day. But if you think you are important right now in the United States of America, say, man. So you mean to tell me that you got to make everybody mail in a vote, but they can go to the club? They can go back to the nail shop? Y'all don't see the fix in? But you comfortable with that. But as usual, Joe would just be like the rest of them if he wins. He ain't going to do a damn thing for black people. And that's what it is. Final words, Mr. Demetri.
I think it's all been said, but I would just impress upon you guys, let's start thinking about doing for self and stop being so dependent on people who really don't care about you. Because like I said, if you care about somebody, you teach them how to do for themselves so they don't continuously need you, right? It's like when we raise a child, we're supposed to raise a child to go out into the world and duplicate the things that we've taught them, and so they can be self-sufficient and all of that. That's how it should be with the Democrat Party. If they really love black people, we would not still be in the condition that we're in. But until they get it, we need to do for self, even if that means withholding our vote and figuring out how to get out of this hellhole that we are in as black people in America.
Donovan, final thoughts?
Final thought. 12 years to a slave. We're less than 12 years away from zero wealth in the black community. We're not telling you not to vote. I'm telling you, research who you're voting on. Bush versus Gore has shown everybody that you feel good voting on the national level, but your vote really doesn't matter. There are other people picking our leaders on the national level. All that matters is your local levels. And as far as a stock recommendation, I am not a financial guru or a financial advisor, but if you are buying cannabis stock, do not forget to buy the hemp stock, Tilray. Invest in that. They go hand in hand. If they're going to be growing cannabis, the byproduct of cannabis is hemp. So look into it.
I'm gonna leave you with this here. I am going to go to the studio next week, and I am going to do the song. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do the song because in 12 years, you're gonna be sitting on the porch singing the song that is gonna end up being Grammy nominated. Oh nigga, what you gonna say when freedom come your way? And in 12 years, if Biden was to win and he do 2 terms, you can't fix it in the 4 after he get out. So we guaranteed to be screwed all the way up. Just think about it, man. Say, man, a spirited discussion. I lost my voice for a minute, but I had to get it back. I want to thank my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. Tomorrow night, I'm bringing on one of the baddest track coaches in the country, man. If not the baddest. Right out of Missouri City, Texas, Marshall High School, head track coach James Banks gonna be in the building with us, man. When I say this man got the baddest track team in the country, they lucky they didn't run this spring because they'd have walked everybody anyway. State championship after state championship. Say, anytime y'all want to come on the show, let us know. Come on, bruh. We good. Till tomorrow. I talk to you.